So picture this. It's a scorching hot July afternoon. And you've been outside all day, the sun is just beating down on you, and someone walks over and hands you a thick, dripping wedge of bright pink watermelon.
Oh, yeah. The classic dark green rind.
Right, exactly. And you take a bite, and there's just this immediate explosion of crisp, sweet hydration. It completely floods your senses.
Best feeling in the world.
It really is.
Yeah.
Instantly you feel cooled down. It just feels like pure, simple, nostalgic relief. But, I mean, that simple image of a sticky summer treat is actually masking like a highly sophisticated piece of biological engineering.
It really is, yeah. It's wildly complex.
And that's what we're getting into today. Welcome to the deep dive. We're pulling from this fascinating script from a health and nutrition show called The Daily Bite, which was written by Dr. Maya Lin. And it honestly completely reframes this backyard staple.
It really changes how you look at it.
Yeah. Because our mission today is to unpack the heavy-hitting science behind this fruit. Because, spoiler alert, it's secretly this elite physiological weapon for optimized hydration, muscle recovery, and cellular defense.
Yeah, I mean, it's so easy to dismiss watermelon as just sugar and water, right? Especially when it's just sitting there next to the potato salad on a picnic table.
Exactly, just a dessert.
Right. But when you look at the actual metabolic processes it triggers in the human body, it operates on a level that honestly rivals specialized sports supplements.
Wow.
And, we have to start with the most prominent feature, which is the water itself. Because the way this fruit hydrates you is just fundamentally different from drinking a glass of tap water.
Well, let's get into that because watermelon is what, about 92% water?
Yep, 92%.
So on the surface, that makes eating it seem a bit redundant, Like if I'm thirsty and the fruit is almost entirely liquid anyway, why wouldn't I just turn on a tap, chug a massive glass of water, and save myself the trouble of chewing?
I mean, it's a fair question, but to understand the difference, you really have to look at the mechanical digestion of water.
Okay.
Like when you drink a large glass of plain water, very quickly say, after a grueling workout when you're incredibly thirsty, your body processes that liquid really rapidly.
Because there's nothing else in it.
Right. A massive volume of water just hits your stomach and moves immediately into your bloodstream. But this actually triggers a volume response in your kidneys.
Wait, really?
Yeah. Your body senses this sudden, drastic drop in blood osmolarity, which basically just means your blood has suddenly become very diluted.
Oh, I see. So the body panics a bit because the fluid balance is suddenly out of whack.
Well, panic might be a strong word, but it definitely reacts
It
defensively.
just goes on alert.
Exactly. The kidneys rapidly increase urine production to flush out that sudden excess of plain water and stabilize your blood concentration.
Oh, so it just runs right through you.
Yeah, a significant portion of that water passes right through your system before your cells actually have the time to fully absorb it and, utilize it for cellular repair.
That makes so much sense. So chugging a plastic bottle of water is essentially like a flash flood in a dry desert.
Oh, that's a great way to put it.
Right. Like the water rushes in all at once, completely overwhelms the dry, cracked soil, and most of it just runs off the surface instead of actually soaking deeply into the ground.
Exactly. And that flash flood effect is entirely bypassed when you consume water that's trapped inside a plant's biological structure.
Which Dr. Lin's script calls the structured hydration matrix?
The structured hydration matrix, yeah. The water in a watermelon isn't free-flowing liquid like in a glass. It's physically encapsulated inside the fruit's microscopic cell wall.
The crunchy part.
Right, which are composed of pectin and cellulose. So when you chew and swallow watermelon, your digestive system has to put in actual mechanical and chemical work to break down those structural carbohydrates.
Which I'm guessing naturally slows down the entire release process.
It acts exactly like a time-release capsule. As your stomach acid and digestive enzymes slowly break down that pectin and cellulose, the water is released gradually into your intestinal tract.
So no kidney panic.
Exactly. Your blood osmolarity remains totally stable, meaning your kidneys don't trigger that rapid flushing response. The fluid is delivered at a pace that your cells can actually handle and absorb.
Okay, but wait, let me push back on this just a little
Yeah,
bit.
sure, go for it.
Because if I'm exhausted, I'm sweating profusely, and I'm legitimately dehydrated, I feel like I want water immediately.
Yeah.
Like my body is screaming for liquid. Isn't a slow release technically a bad thing in a moment where I need acute hydration?
I know it feels so counterintuitive, but acute rehydration isn't actually about how fast water hits your stomach.
No.
No, it's about how much water actually gets inside your cells and stays there. And that brings us to the second half of this structured hydration matrix.
Okay, lay it on me.
As those plant cell walls break down, they aren't just releasing water. They're simultaneously releasing a highly specific profile of natural electrolytes.
All right.
Yeah, primarily potassium, magnesium, and calcium.
And electrolytes are like the biological keys that actually open the doors to the cells, right?
And that's exactly what they do. They create the osmotic gradients necessary to pull that water across the cellular membrane.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, potassium in particular works inside the cell to draw fluid in, which balances out the sodium that's outside the cell.
Ah, I see.
So when you combine that slow, steady release of the water with the simultaneous release of potassium and magnesium, your cells are able to draw in the moisture incredibly efficiently.
Meaning your cellular hydration levels actually stay optimized for hours.
Hours, yeah. Clinical sports science studies consistently show that foods rich in both water and potassium restore fluid balance in the human body far better than plain water alone.
So you avoid that awful, sloshing, bloated feeling you get when you just chug way too much tap water after a run.
Ugh, the worst.
Yeah. And your tissues actually get the moisture they need to repair. I mean, that alone completely changes how I view eating a bowl of chopped watermelon after the gym.
It's really a far more elegant hydration system than a plastic bottle, but honestly, hydration is really just the foundational layer here.
Right, there's more.
Oh, yeah. The most potent performance-boosting compounds in this fruit aren't actually in the red, watery flesh at all.
Where are they?
They're localized in the exact part of the watermelon that almost every single one of us instinctively throws in the garbage.
Oh, you mean the rind?
Yes, the rind.
Specifically, like the white part of the rind and that kale flesh right next to it. Which brings us to an amino acid called L-citrulline.
Yes, L-citrulline.
Now, anyone who has ever walked into a supplement store or, looked at the back of a pre-workout powder container has probably seen L-citrulline listed on the label.
Oh, definitely. It's everywhere in sports nutrition.
Right. Athletes take it in massive doses for muscle endurance and to get a pump before they lift heavy weights.
And one of the absolute richest natural sources of L-citrulline on the planet is the white rind of the watermelon.
Okay, I have to stop you there, though.
Okay.
Because, sure, a plant might contain a trace amount of a compound, but those pre-workout tubs contain heavily concentrated, like chemically synthesized scoops of this stuff.
Right, right.
So are you telling me that gnawing on a bitter white rind is actually going to give a human being a clinically relevant dose? Or is this just like a fun botanical technicality?
It's totally valid skepticism, especially when we're so used to these mega-dosed synthetic supplements. But we have to look at bioavailability.
Meaning how well your body can actually absorb it.
Exactly. How well your body can absorb and use the compound.
Right.
When you consume L-citrulline within its natural whole food matrix, complete with all its cofactors and enzymes, your body absorbs it incredibly efficiently.
Interesting.
Yeah, and the clinical trials cited in Dr. Lin's source material, they didn't use synthetic powders.
They didn't.
No, they used natural watermelon juice specifically blended to include that white rind.
Wow.
And they found that athletes who drank this natural juice prior to intense exercise experienced a significant reduction in muscle soreness 24 to 48 hours later.
Oh, that's huge for recovery.
Yeah, along with improved heart rate recovery.
So the natural stuff genuinely holds up in a clinical setting.
It really does.
What exactly is this L-citrulline doing once it gets into the body to prevent that muscle soreness, though? Like mechanically.
Right, so it kicks off this very specific biological chain reaction. When you ingest L-citrulline from the rind, it travels to your kidneys, where it is converted into a different amino acid called L-arginine.
Okay, L-arginine.
And that L-arginine is then used by your endothelial cells, which are the cells that line the inside of your blood vessels to produce a gas called nitric oxide.
Oh, I've heard of that. Nitric oxide.
Yeah, it's a potent vasodilator.
Meaning it dilates or widens the vascular system, right?
Exactly. It signals the smooth muscle cells that wrap around your blood vessels to relax, and when those muscles relax, the internal diameter of the blood vessel naturally expands.
Oh, so blood pressure naturally drops.
Yep. And the flow of blood increases dramatically without the heart having to work any harder to pump it.
It's basically like nitric oxide is coming in and adding 3 extra open lanes to a heavily congested, busy highway.
I love that analogy.
Right. Like suddenly the traffic clears up and all those vehicles, the blood, the oxygen, the vital nutrients, they can skip the traffic jam and get straight to the working muscles exactly when they need them most.
Exactly. And because those lanes are open, The oxygen gets there faster, which delays the onset of lactic acid buildup during your workout.
Which is the burn you feel when you're lifting.
Right. Then after the workout, those same wide-open blood vessels are incredibly efficient at sweeping away metabolic waste products,
Ah,
which is exactly why the athletes in those trials had significantly less muscle soreness 2 days later. Their bodies were quite literally flushing out the damage faster.
that is wild.
Yeah.
It's wild to think we are tossing out the exact compound that athletes are paying top dollar for.
I know.
But I guess it's a classic case of prioritizing immediate sensory pleasure over nutritional function, you know?
Oh, totally.
Like the red flesh is incredibly sweet and full of natural sugars. The white rind is firm, much less sweet, and it has more of a, I don't know, cucumber-like flavor.
Yeah, it really does taste like cucumber.
So we've just been culturally conditioned to view the sweet part as the food and the less sweet part as the packaging.
Which is exactly why rethinking how we prep the fruit is so important.
Right.
I mean, you don't have to just sit there and eat the rind like an apple.
Nobody wants to do that.
No. But Dr. Lin suggests that if you're making a smoothie, you should purposely leave a good chunk of that white flesh near the green exterior and just throw it right in the blender.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, because the sweetness of the red flesh completely masks the cucumber flavor of the white rind.
You wouldn't even taste it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or, alternatively, pickling the white rind.
Pickling it.
Yeah, it's actually a traditional preparation in many cultures. It captures all of that performance-boosting L-citrulline while turning it into this tangy, savory snack.
Pickled watermelon rind. You know, I might actually have to try that at a barbecue just to see the looks on people's faces.
You should. It's delicious.
But it makes total sense. You're extracting the L-citrulline and taking advantage of that vasodilation.
Right.
So that covers the hydration and the muscle recovery. But we can't ignore the part of the fruit we actually buy it for the center.
The best part.
Yeah, that signature bright, vibrant pink-red color. Because apparently that's the visual cue for its final superpower.
Yeah, so the red flesh is where we transition from physical performance to deep cellular defense.
Okay.
And the key player giving it that bright red pigment is a powerful antioxidant called lycopene.
Okay, so whenever you hear the word lycopene, you immediately think of tomatoes. Like, tomatoes are the undisputed international mascot for lycopene.
They really are.
But the source script gets very specific here. It says ripe, red watermelon actually contains more lycopene per serving than fresh raw tomatoes.
It does.
So if that's true, why do tomatoes get all the mainstream PR? Like, why isn't watermelon advertised as the lycopene king?
It's a great point. And it actually comes down to the physical molecular structure of the plant and how our bodies absorb the nutrient.
Okay, how so?
So in tomatoes, the lycopene is tightly bound within the complex cellular walls of the plant matrix. To actually unlock that lycopene and make it highly bioavailable to the human digestive tract, you generally need to apply heat.
Ah.
Yeah, cooking the tomatoes breaks down those chemical bonds.
So eating tomato paste or like a cooked marinara sauce
Right.
is a fantastic way to get lycopene, but eating a raw slice of tomato on a sandwich makes your digestive system work really hard for a minimal reward.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
The lycopene in watermelon, however, is structured completely differently.
It's because it's raw.
Well, the tissue of the fruit is just much more fragile, and the lycopene is naturally more accessible. You don't need to cook a watermelon to unlock it.
Good, because cooked watermelon sounds terrible.
It really does.
Yeah.
But yeah, biting into a fresh, crisp, raw piece gives your cells an immediate, highly bioavailable dose of what is essentially a master free radical scavenger.
Okay, let's break that down, because free radical scavenger is a term that gets thrown around in health articles all the time.
It does.
But what does that actually look like happening on a cellular level?
Sure. So free radicals are highly unstable molecules in your body that are missing an electron.
Okay.
Because they're unstable, they frantically look for an electron to steal. And they usually steal them from your healthy cells, like your DNA, your cell membranes, your proteins.
So they're just wreaking havoc.
Total havoc. This constant stealing causes oxidative stress, which leads to systemic inflammation and cellular aging.
Wow.
But lycopene is an antioxidant, which means its molecular structure allows it to generously donate an electron to that unstable free radical.
Oh.
Yeah, it completely neutralizes the threat without becoming unstable itself.
So it's acting like a biological shield, kind of just taking the hit so your healthy cells don't have to.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And by neutralizing those free radicals, lycopene significantly reduces systemic inflammation and supports long-term cardiovascular health.
That's amazing.
But, that defense system doesn't operate in a vacuum. It's heavily supported by the vitamin C content in the fruit.
Oh, right. The vitamin C numbers in this script are remarkably high.
Really high.
It says a single cup of watermelon delivers roughly a fifth, like 20% of your daily recommended intake.
Yes.
And let's be real, realistically, nobody eats just one standard measuring cup of watermelon on a hot day.
No,
You're
no.
easily eating 2 or 3 cups in a single sitting.
Exactly. So you're getting a massive influx of vitamin C, which is doing heavy lifting for your internal defense. I mean, we all know it boosts the immune system, but its role in collagen synthesis is what makes it a really crucial partner to lycopene.
Collagen synthesis.
Yeah, vitamin C acts as a mandatory cofactor for the enzymes that stabilize and cross-link collagen molecules.
Oh, so without vitamin C, your body literally cannot weave the collagen fibers together tightly.
Right. Your body stops producing stable collagen altogether without it,
Hmm.
which is actually the biological mechanism behind scurvy.
Oh, wow. Scurvy.
Yeah. So when you consume high doses of vitamin C, you are directly fueling the machinery that keeps your skin firm and resilient and your joints protected from wear and tear.
Incredible.
And then you add in the beta carotene, which your body converts into vitamin A for eye health and mucosal immune defense, and you have this deeply synergistic effect.
It really is. So
Yeah.
the lycopene neutralizes the oxidative damage that's trying to break your tissues down, while the vitamin C is simultaneously giving your body the raw materials to synthesize the collagen needed to repair and rebuild those tissues.
Just nailed it.
Eating a wedge of watermelon is essentially giving your cells an edible sunscreen and a biological repair crew at the exact same time.
I love that. It's a comprehensive cellular defense matrix, wrapped up in a package that we usually just consider a simple picnic dessert.
It's mind-blowing. Let's pull all these threads together.
Hmm.
Because looking at Dr. Lin's script, it's pretty clear this fruit is operating on 3 distinct, highly functional levels.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've got the structured hydration matrix, which completely bypasses the kidney's volume response. Instead of the flash flood of chugging tap water, you get the slow drip irrigation of water, perfectly paired with potassium and magnesium to optimize cellular hydration for hours.
Right, that's layer 1.
Layer 2. Then you have the cardiovascular and muscle recovery engine hiding in the white rind.
The L-citrulline.
Yes, the L-citrulline converts to nitric oxide, relaxing the blood vessels, dropping blood pressure, and flooding the muscles with oxygen while flushing out lactic acid.
Which is huge for anyone active.
Exactly. And finally, layer 3, the cellular defense system in the red flesh.
Mm.
A massive, raw, highly bioavailable dose of lycopene that literally beats out raw tomatoes, neutralizing free radicals and working right alongside vitamin C to drive collagen production and protect the skin.
It is a wildly complex biological profile.
It really is.
Which is why, the biggest takeaway from all of this is to really change how you physically interact with the fruit.
Right.
Like when someone hands you that wedge at the next summer barbecue, resist the urge to just eat the sugary center and throw the rest away.
Eat a little closer to the green.
Exactly. Purposely get some of that firm white flesh into your system.
Don't leave all that elite performance-enhancing biology sitting on a paper plate.
Or don't do it.
It makes you realize how much functional nutrition we just casually toss into the garbage. Actually, before we wrap up this deep dive, that brings up a really interesting thought to mull over. Building on the sheer volume of L-citrulline we're throwing away every summer.
Oh, it's a staggering amount of waste when you think about it on a global scale.
Right. So if the white rind of a watermelon contains such incredibly potent compounds that professional athletes and gym goers are actively paying like $50 or $60 a tub for in powdered, synthetically isolated supplement form.
Yeah.
Are we currently looking right past a massive, completely untapped solution for food waste?
That is a great question.
Like, could the literal garbage from our summer picnics, the millions of tons of rinds thrown into landfills every July, actually hold the key to revolutionizing the sports nutrition industry in a completely natural, sustainable way?
It changes the entire perspective, doesn't it?
It really does. So the next time you feel the heat of a scorching afternoon and bite into that crisp, sweet fruit, remember you aren't just cooling down. You're tapping into a physiological secret weapon. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.